In February of 2015, during the Snowmageddon, I had the honor of meeting a man by the name of Sherpa. Me and Sherpa had some conversations, and he told me all about his travels, and I was amazed. During these conversations, I learned what hiking was all about. It was about wandering around. Simple as that. Wandering around. And that is why his name is now the Wandering Sherpa. So tonight, on the Hiker Spotlight, we get to talk to not only a friend, but a fellow hiker. A man that has walked this trail, the Appalachian Trail, several times. He's done the Colorado Trail. Today, you get to learn about someone new. Let's talk to Sherpa tonight on the Hiker Spotlight. This is Teardrop, and welcome to New to the Wild. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the next Hiker Spotlight, and I'm honored to talk to a good friend of mine, someone I met in the beginning of my hiking career. He goes by the name of Sherpa, Wandering Sherpa, and it's Greg. Greg, man, it's good to have you on to sit down for this interview, man. How you been?
I've been good. Nice to see you all here. I've been doing well.
Absolutely. Yep. Now, Greg, man, we met back in 2015 during what we call the Snowmageddon. Same year I met Hike Hunter. A few of the favorites that everybody know. What for that year? How far did you go that year? Just curious.
Oh, I ended up going to New Jersey, and then I got off the trail and headed west to the Colorado.
Absolutely amazing. Now, when I met you at the Wolfpin Gap Country Store, I believe we had some discussions. You had done quite a bit of hiking in your life, and even after that, I've seen you go off to the Colorado Trail, things of that nature. How long have you been hiking, sir?
Boy, I've been hiking since like I was a child. My family grew up hunting and fishing and doing all kinds of outdoor activities. But my first backpacking trip was, I guess, when I was 13 years old. Our science class went out for an overnight trip here in the Adirondacks.
Man. And so what got you into it? What made you say, you know what, I want to walk for fun? Or at least long distance hike?
I enjoyed that hike with the junior high, and then I went and joined the Adirondack Mountain Club, and they had weekend hikes I could go on, day hikes and stuff, just, down the road from here, so it was perfect. I lived in a perfect location, and the mountain club, I didn't drive them, but I could carpool with somebody to get up into the mountains.
Yeah. Well, you've been hiking for quite some time, so let me ask you, what is the biggest change that you've seen to the hiking scenery or the hiking community?
Well, there's a lot more people, and I don't know, it seems like the people have a lot more sense of entitlement now, because back when I started doing the AT, you'd carry 7 to 10 days worth of food, and you'd rarely go into town and almost never stay at a motel or a hostel. Now there's a hostel at every road crossing.
Do you believe that's hurting the trail or helping it?
It's debatable. It's bringing a lot more people to the trail, which is hurting it in a lot of ways from overuse, but it's also helping the trail because it's making more people aware of the trail, so there's more money coming in there to support the trail and stuff. So
absolutely, kind of a catch-22,
Yeah, it is. It's a rough, call to see whether it's good or bad.
Absolutely. Now your trail name, that's Wandering Sherpa, or is it just Sherpa?
It was started out as Sherpa. How that happened was in 1976, I was doing the northbound section of the trail from Port Clinton, not Port Clinton, but the Susquehanna River, Duncannon, all the way north to Maine. And I was in Massachusetts hiking with another hiker, and she got sick. So I ended up carrying her food up the big climb out of North Adams, Massachusetts. And that's how I got the trail name Sherpa, because I lugged all her food up to the top.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm watching these Mount Everest documentaries, that's where I heard the name Sherpa, man.
Yeah.
So it was really cool when you were the only person that did. Now, since I've met you, for some reason I feel like I see everybody named Sherpa, but to me you're the original, man, no doubt.
Yeah, because trail names weren't that common back then, so I was the first Sherpa, the trail name that I'm aware of. Now there's dozens of Sherpas every year, it seems like. It's a very common trail name.
Absolutely. Now when
They're all copycats. Copycats.
Yeah, well, that's the way it kind of goes. There's nothing is original anymore. I'm not even the first teardrop. I was doing some research. I realized I'm not even the first teardrop, man.
Really? You're the first one I've heard of. That's interesting.
Unfortunately, there was a dude that actually killed someone. This was if you research the Appalachian Trail and the name Teardrop, and you look past all of the JB stuff, you'll see what I'm talking about, and it was
Wow.
insane. Uh, so when I first met you, you obviously had talked about some of your experience with the Appalachian Trail specifically. You've made it through the whole. How many times have you made it through this thing?
I've done it about 3.5 times, roughly.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
Uh, do you have a favorite hiking moment throughout all that?
I think Maine's beautiful. When first time I was in Maine in '76, I saw a moose, and that was just awesome walking through the woods toward me. It was a big animal, and it was like, wow, it's like a horse coming down the trail.
That's
You know,
amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
So I assume that's your favorite area. Do you have a moment that sticks out in your mind? Is it that moose moment, or something that made you say, "Man, I really love this"?
Oh man, there's so many moments. I can't pick one, but I think any of the sunsets and sunrises over the ponds up north were beautiful. It's just like, wow, glad to be alive. And you listen to the loons singing on the lake and stuff. Those are special moments, you
Absolutely,
know.
man. I remember meeting you. Well, I remember also seeing you once we left Wolfpen Gap at that little area where
Mhm.
there's the four trails that come in at the same time, right by Blood Mountain, right at the bottom of Blood Mountain.
That's right at that junction there. Yeah, that was where all the snow and ice was came
Yeah.
through there.
And you were
Yeah.
literally just going back and forth because I guess you were waiting on a trail companion, and you
Yes, I was
literally
waiting on Mockingbird to show up. She was going to start till March 1st, so I'm just kind of was getting in shape and getting some of my trail legs up.
yeah. No, it was you were the first person I had ever met that was just kind of going back and forth and just kind of roaming around.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
I was wandering, and I was glad I had the micro spikes that year. It was so icy down there in Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, that was a rough one. No doubt about it. Um, Now we talked about your favorite hiking moment, your favorite hiking area. Do you have a worst moment, like a moment that made you say, you know what, I may not want to do this anymore?
Oh, well, on the Appalachian Trail, you get some weird rides in the town. Guys trying to hit on you and stuff. It's like it wasn't hiking, but it was part of hiking. You're trying to get in the town in Virginia.
Yeah.
You know,
You had
weird
a guy.
time.
You had a guy try to fill your ass. Oh, excuse me, but
Yeah, he was just trying to hit on me hard. I was 17 at the time, and he was probably 50 or so at the time.
oh Jesus,
Weird
Jesus.
freaks are out there.
I had a weird occasion like that when I was down in Florida because I was doing some Florida trail
Mhm.
stuff, and I had a really weird situation when I went to go to Western Union. A local in that area, offered me a ride. I thought he was just being a nice guy, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to get too vulgar, but let's just say he was pretty persistent on his offers of what he wanted to do. So yeah, it was. I was so shocked, and I always asked myself, how would I react if I came face to face with something like that? Me being me, I thought I would react violently, and I was so shocked. I didn't know how to react, man. Honestly, I just kind of felt stuck. But
Yeah, it's surprising. You just want to get out of the car and get on your way. Forget about it. But
yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Now, that was your worst hiking moment. Do you have an area like for me? It's Hot Springs to Irwin. That's a for some reason I hate that area. Is there an
you
area
too,
that you
huh?
dislike?
I don't like the Smoky Mountains now. There's just too much government, basically. The rules, regulations, and then you got to pay to get a permit. You used to be able for you could hike the trail free. Now it's
Well,
just too much.
would you agree our taxes already pay for it, so we shouldn't have to get a permit?
I agree 100%. That now they're raising the fees for the parks this year, which just isn't right because we're being taxed upon taxes.
Absolutely. No, it's double jeopardy. Without a doubt, they're double dipping. And
Yes.
one of the things that I noticed in the Smokies is that I, as a through hiker, I'll pay $20 for that permit, but yet a day
Mhm.
hiker can pay a $4 permit, come in, and I can get booted out of the shelter. What are your thoughts on that system?
That's not right. I mean, shelters have always been there since I started hiking, and you had to use the shelters. Back in the '70s when I came through there was a cage in front of the shelter, so you had to sleep inside the cage. But these days I kind of do some stealth camping, you could say, out
Yeah,
of sight, out of mind.
yeah.
So,
They just removed the last gate. It was at Tri Corner Knob.
oh, was it? Okay.
They just
Okay.
removed the last one of the gates, and they're all gone now. So,
Wow.
unfortunately.
I thought Davenport Gap had one the last
Nope.
time I came through. No,
It
really?
was not there
Okay.
this time.
Yeah.
Davenport didn't. Cosby Knob didn't. None of the ones.
Oh,
I think they did the one. All the ones at the end of the Smokies were the last ones to go. I think, but
okay.
I believe Tri Corner was the last one, the absolute last one.
Wow, that's something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember being in the gate. It was kind of weird, sleeping in the shelters back then with the gates and stuff. And still tons of people in the Smokies even back then.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Smokies either. Now the bet. Let me ask you. I'm sure. I know you stealth camp, and I don't know how often you visit hostels, but do you have one that sticks out in your mind as the best one you've ever visited?
Oh, the Lakeshore Hostel in Munson, Maine. It's really a nice hostel, good laundry machines, and the food down in the restaurant's great. And Becky's a wonderful owner. I don't know if she still owns the place, but it's a beautiful hostel. It's right on the lake.
Oh, definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, check that out when you get there. That's better than the other hostel, which I can't think of the name at the time, but
Yeah,
it's the old one that's been forever.
absolutely. Do you have a favorite trail town or just town along your hikes in general that you
Oh,
really
I
like?
kind of I like Damascus, and it's just a nice trail town. Usually I stay at Larry's place when I'm there, Crazy Larry's.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever had a chance to stop at the Woodchuck, man? I actually like the Woodchuck.
no, I haven't. I've heard about the woodchuck, but I haven't had a chance to stay there yet.
I think you and the owner would very much so enjoy your conversation. I sat and talked politics with him for hours, man. And you know my politics, so
Oh, I know. It must have been a good visit. Yeah.
it was excellent, man. It was
Yeah.
but yeah, Crazy Larry's definitely good. I like, believe it or not, I like a town that's not even a trail town. Like I like Helen, man. As expensive as it is,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I really
That's
like
a
Helen.
cool town.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
a worse hostel, one that you've ever been to that makes you say, "Man, I can't believe I spent this shit"?
Well, Standing Bear was kind of dumpy when I was there last time I was there. It
Yeah,
was just the same pile of dirt was there when I was there 3 years earlier. It's just filthy.
it is.
Like,
It's the first time I've ever taken a shower on the Appalachian Trail and still felt dirty when I got out. It's a fact.
I wore my sandals, I think, then in the
Yeah,
shower. That's how bad it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the best. And the good news is in that region, right at the bottom of the Davenport drop, there's Hike Hunter's going to be opening a new hostel in that area. And it's going to be an upper for people that's willing to spend 30, $45. But it's going to be a
Wow.
place. Well, it's going to be there's not going to be a lot of partying. It's going to be very clean. It's going to be for older people. Um,
Oh, okay.
so it's not going to be a whole lot of partying and loudness, and it's going to, you know what I mean? And it's going to be the opposite of Standing Bear, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah, because, Standing Bear, I don't know how long it's been there, but
Yeah,
the original owner, Curtis, passed away a few years ago from cancer,
yeah.
and then it's
It,
changed.
well, right now it's definitely, it's I like parts of it, but it's definitely cleanliness is not its forte. Not at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Last time I was there, the pizza oven didn't work. You put your pizza in there, and a half hour later, it'd be still lukewarm.
Did you have to wash your clothes by hand using that scrub board when you were there?
That was the only option available, but I didn't bother washing my clothes because I'd be in hot springs in a couple days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a doubt. Let me ask you, man. I know you've been out here a lot of times, and I know you've been around the block. Let me ask you: was there ever a moment that stands out as the scariest moment for you while you were hiking?
Oh, it would probably be in Virginia and one of those ridges when you're in a lightning storm. There's lightning coming down all around you and thunder, and you hear trees crashing in front of you. Pretty gnarly, when you see a bright flash and then this tree falls down in front of you 20 feet away.
Yeah,
That's pretty darn close.
yeah. It's some spooky stuff. I'll tell you what, man. Speaking of Virginia, I was actually in the Highlands, and
Hmm.
I went to the only shelter that's in the Highland State Park, which is the last one. I can't remember the name of it. It was late at night, and I heard this thing coming around the shelter. It was one of them ponies. Literally,
Oh, wow.
and when I went out there to check on it, you ever seen a dog when it rolls around on its back wanting you to rub its belly? That's what it
Yeah,
did. I was amazed and scared at the same time. I couldn't believe it, man.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Um,
Wow. Oh,
now I assume you've met a lot of people. Now, when I met you,
yeah.
you was pretty quiet, and I could tell you stick to yourself. I was lucky enough to connect with you. Is there any
Hmm.
people that stand out as the most memorable people along your travels?
Oh, I meet so many people that kind of just blur together right now,
Sure.
just generic faces. So many people nowadays on the trail.
Absolutely. Now, I always ask my, I always ask the people I talk to if they can. Let's take hiking out of the equation. I
Okay.
ask you to give me one personal fact about yourself that everyone else would maybe be surprised to hear, or just something different about yourself that you can say publicly that you don't that people may be surprised to know about you.
Well, there's a couple video games I like to play. That would be unusual, Particularly, it's Skyrim, which is sort of an outdoor adventure game.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that you're a gamer.
yeah, yeah. Elder Scrolls. I've been playing the Elder Scrolls series since they came out back in the '90s. So,
I didn't. I don't even know if I knew that. And you're on my. You're one of the few hikers that's on my personal Facebook. I'm so shocked
okay.
at that, man. We may have discussed it, but I don't. I don't. But
Yeah.
I'm a gamer too, man. That's amazing. Now I'm going to ask you about a couple controversies that exist within the trail community.
Oh, there sure is a lot of them, isn't there? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, all right, we saw what happened in Damascus. Did you get a chance to see what the owners of Hey Joe's did with the Jewish fella?
I saw that video clip that the Jewish fellow posted, Craig, I think,
Yeah.
the one he took. Yeah, I saw that, and I don't understand, what started that,
Well, I actually interviewed him, and
Mhm.
he admitted that he went there to look for drugs,
Okay.
and because he had previously known of the people that owned Hey Joe, so he knew it would be a safe drug spot. I'm using air quotes right now, and so, but what happened is they wanted to take his money and have him wait there while they went and got it. This is what he's saying.
Wow.
And he refused to do that. And he said, no, I don't want to. I'd rather not give you my money. Just go get it and come back, and then we'll make the transaction. And so that's what led to all that. Now, this is coming out of his mouth. And
Okay.
and so, yeah, but when the video was released, obviously there was all these this Jew stuff in oven. They're talking about, my question, the reason I ask you this, because you've been on the trail a long time.
Mm-hmm.
For minorities or people that of other, that's not us white males, that may be interested in coming out to hike the trail, is this a common thing? What would you say to those people that see this and say, I don't want to come out and hike the trail?
I think it's rare. I've never heard of that happening before, in any trail town. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's safe for minorities and stuff like that, though you rarely see black people or other minorities,
Right.
People are very open-minded and tolerant along the trails,
And
except for liberals, of course, but
yeah,
anyway.
you just opened me up.
I know, I got you wound up now, huh?
Yeah, and you're right, and that's the thing. And funny enough is that on this trail you'll see conservatives such as me and Greg, but you'll also see liberals, and we all will hike together. But it does seem as if now, particularly in the Trump era, that there's a lot more animosity based on politics. Would you agree with that?
I would think so, yeah. The whole country's that way, I'm sure. It's on edge right now, We live in interesting times, you could say.
Absolutely. And the truth of this is, you and I, conservatives in general, are kind of the minority out there. Let's just face it. Hiking,
Yeah, so,
the wilderness is kind of a liberal place where they go to do their liberal things, and so, but yeah, I understand that. Now there was another issue. I don't know if you heard about this, but I'm going to talk about the story of Stacy Cazell.
Oh, Stacy Kotex. Yeah, I've heard about that one. Yeah.
Now, she claims that she hiked the PCT in 5 months. Now there's a lot of able-bodied hikers that take 6. And remember, this particular year there was a lot of bad weather, a lot of water. To be able to have to use rechargeable legs when we're talking about the high Sierras during all the snow this year. Do you believe her story, or is this something he's staying out of?
I don't believe it. It's just every picture you see about her is taken at a road or near a road,
Yeah.
And then the photo of her at the end of the PCT, that was definitely photoshopped. You could tell, the monument was different than what it was this year. Even the weather, because it was smoky and fires out there, and they showed blue skies where she was there.
Absolutely, and it's funny because someone on the PCT group, the Facebook group, they literally posted their summit photo, so to speak, and put it side by side with hers, and you could tell they're not the same monuments. There's been some work done on the photos, so
Yeah, bad Photoshop for one thing. It's just a lie. There's so many more fake people, it seems, on the trail now. I don't know. I guess it's popular and people want to say they've done it without actually going through all the work to do it.
Yeah. Lord knows I'm still trying. So
yeah, you'll get there. Keep at it. As long as you got the right attitude, you keep persisting. Eventually you'll get there. Yep.
Absolutely. Now you recently gotten married. I'm not going to go too much into it, man. So
okay.
I'm happy for you. But let me ask you, does that stop any future? Do you have any future hikes planned, or are you doing the marriage thing for a while?
Well, if I would do future hikes, it'll be away from the Triple Crown trails because they're just too busy nowadays. They're not the same like they used to be. So yeah, we got some adventures planned coming down the road.
Is she a hiker?
She is. She's getting back into it and stuff, trying to get back in shape. She recently quit smoking, so that's going to help a lot too.
Yeah. As a smoker, I definitely would agree with that.
It was just killing her. You could say. Yeah.
Nothing's worse than see. Everybody else complains about the descents down the mountain. See, I struggle with going up. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that makes yeah.
So a lot of people you have a YouTube page.
Yes, I do. I don't recall what it is at the moment. I think it's Sherpa 1976.
Sherpa 1976, and so I know you're pretty.
I have two YouTube pages, so there's one that's under my name, and there's that one too.
Sure. And definitely, if you want these people to come to your page, definitely let them know. Me personally, like I said, I didn't know how to approach that because you seem very private. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it's out there in the public. YouTube is, and so is my WordPress blogs. One WordPress blog is longdistancehiker.wordpress.com, and the other one's happyhikertrash.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
And they have links to my videos and photos on there.
Absolutely. Now, one question I want to ask you, because you've seen this trail grow over the years. What is the absolute best thing that's happened for this trail, and the worst that's happened within the time you've been hiking?
I think the best thing is that more people are aware of the trail, which there's more money to support the trail and preserve the trail. So the trail is better protected now. Mm-hmm. It's going to exist. The trails now used to be a lot more road walking, so the trails have been moved off the roads.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big difference. Of course, there's more services too. Every road crossing, you can whip out your cell phone and have pizza delivered, you could say. So that's a big difference.
It is a difference. It is kind of crazy. What would you say is the worst thing to happen to the trail? The same thing?
You got a lot of people it's their first hike and they don't know anything about, leave no trace tactics and stuff. So they go there and there's garbage all over the place, and there's people pooping, practically in the middle of the trail now, and toilet paper mounds and stuff like that. So that's probably some of the worst.
Yeah, it's something that always bothered me. All right, so I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to me. But for the viewers, is there any final words, perhaps to the 2018ers that's coming, or just people in general? Any final words of wisdom that you can give to the people?
Just keep a positive attitude and keep on walking. You'll get there. Never quit on a bad day. Just keep going.
I need to learn. I need to take that advice, man.
There you go. Yeah, but don't spend all your money in the first trail town either.
I've been there. I've been there.
That beer and pizza is awful good when you've eaten nothing but trail food for days.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, Greg, Sherpa, man, I appreciate you taking the time to hang with me here today, man. Thank you so much, man. And I hope that when I get up there north, that maybe we can sit down and have a beer and just hang out.
Yeah, give me a shout when you get to Vermont. I'm only like 40 miles away from the trail from right where I'm at now, so we'll get together then, all right?
No problem. Maybe we can sit down and watch some Hannity or something.
That would be great. Something politically incorrect, okay?
Yeah, we're going to. All right, well, thank you so much, man. And we're going to go ahead and end this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sherpa. Appreciate the time.
Bye, bitches.